Hello boys and girls, Mr. Lopazzo here with another drawing video. Today we're going to draw a bird. This isn't just any old bird. This bird is called the woodcock. And he is very good at camouflaging himself and hiding from predators. Right? Camouflage is something you use to disguise your appearance, to blend in with your surroundings. And he camouflages himself by using the same colors as the surroundings. Leaves, grass, dirt, things like that. The woodcock likes to spend a lot of time sitting on the forest floor. He can fly, he's a bird, but he likes to hang out on the ground, maybe on a dead log, just kind of sitting on the ground. The problem is there's predators in the forest that would love to eat him. But in the fall, he can change his feathers change colors, and they turn red and orange and yellow and brown, just like the leaves that fall on the forest floor. Kind of like how the snowshoe rabbit is brown in the summertime, and in the winter he has a white coat to hide and blend in with the snow so predators can't find him and eat him and make him lunch. So the woodcock, you can see we're going to hide our bird in among all of the different color leaves. And here's another example here. We're going to make him sitting on a branch on the forest floor, and you can see it's really hard to see him. There's his feathers right there, and there's his head, there's his eye, and there's his beak sticking out. If you can't see him, that's actually a good thing. We want to camouflage him. We want him to be hidden in his surroundings. This one doesn't have as many leaves, but it's drawn incredibly well. So we're going to make all those feathers. So you're going to need a piece of paper, you're going to need a pencil, you're going to need an eraser, and we're going to want to turn that piece of paper horizontal or sideways. This way. Not up and down, side to side. So I'm going to draw the woodcock right over here in the bottom right-hand corner. This is where I want to draw. I don't want to make them too teeny weeny. Now, of course, my piece of paper is gigantic. I do that so that you can see it well. But obviously, your paper is going to be a little bit smaller. You want to try to use the biggest piece of paper you have. If you have a bigger piece of 12 by 18-inch paper, that's better than a copy paper, which is really small. But use whatever you've got. So right down here, remember to draw lightly. You heard it here first. So I'm going to draw his two wings. It's kind of shaped like a heart, because we're looking at the back of him, and then his head's turned sideways. So I'm going to draw something that kind of looks like a big heart sitting down in the corner of my paper. And I'm going to connect the heart with just kind of like a little round line. I'm not going to do it with a point. And at the bottom, I'm going to go almost all the way till they touch, and then I'm going to curl up. Kind of looks like an apple. It's a hard apple, whatever that is. And because he has two wings, I'm going to split those wings right in half so that that's the bottom of one wing, that's the bottom of the other wing. Now, of course, I'm going very, very quickly because we don't want to sit here for 2 hours and watch Mr. Lopazzo draw slowly. So feel free to pause this video, rewind it so you can watch it and listen to it again. And I'll just zip right through it, and you can take as long as you want. Now his head is going to go right up here. I don't want to make it too teeny because I have to make his eye and I have to make a beak, and there's a pattern on the back of his head too. So I'm going to go from the middle of this bump to the middle of this bump. I'm going to go up around. Kind of looks like a sun setting behind a heart. So I'm going to go from the middle of that wing to the middle of that wing. Now his beak is going to be looking that way. So I'm going to start my beak touching the head, and it's going to come straight out. And you want to go past the wing. So here's the edge of my wing, so I want to go past that. He's got a long, skinny beak. And then when I go back, I'm actually going to touch the wing. I'm not going to go back to the head. Starts at the head, goes out, comes back and touches the wing. Now, he likes to eat bugs that are the dead the dead tree trunks and things and the branches on the ground, so that long skinny beak can go inside the wood, and he picks out those bugs. They taste delicious. And now I'm going to make a top beak and a bottom beak. So I'm going to put a line right down the middle of that beak. So that way I've got a top beak and a bottom beak. Okay. So right here, I'm going to do a little cheek, kind of like a little bump. And then I'm going to put a circle coming out of that bump. And I'm going to make his pupil. I'm not going to color it in yet, but we will. Now the woodcock has a pattern on the back of his head. It's kind of like 3 stripes, sort of. They kind of look like hot dogs to me. So on the bottom, closest to the wing, it's going to be a nice big hot dog. Nice big round hot dog. And then above that is a little bit shorter shape. And then the one above that is even shorter. So it's big, medium, and small. And that's the pattern on the back of his head. Now the feathers. We don't want to make too many feathers. We want to give you a lot of work. 50 feathers looks just good as 800 feathers. So let's make less rather than more. So what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of be making a backwards letter J. That's kind of what our feathers are going to look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that backwards J and I'm going to put it right over here, starting right on the side of my wing. I'm going to go down, curl around, and go up. And you can see how it's touching the side of the wing. Don't draw this backwards J on your paper. I'm just showing it to you big. And then I'm going to put another one underneath that, and another one under that. And I'm going to keep going until I reach the bottom of my wing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 6. You can even do less than that if you want. You don't want to do any more than 6. But notice they are just long, skinny backwards J's that just connect all together. They're not half circles. That you'll end up with like 5,000 of those. You don't want those. No. So right next to that row, I'm going to do another row of backwards letter J's that connect, so they're all touching each other. My second row is touching my first row. Now I'm going to keep doing that until I get all the way to this middle line, this wing. You don't want to make them smaller. They should all be nice and big and long. We're going to keep going. They don't all have to line up perfectly. I'm going to keep going until, just think backwards J. Over, curl around, and up. Or I should say down, curl around, and up. Just like that. Very simple. Now, when I get over to the other side of the other wing, the left wing, this time they're going to be forwards letter J's. Down and curl around. Now I'm going to start those on the side, not in the middle. I started out here. I'm going to do exactly the same thing over there. It's like just the opposite. Down, curl around, touch the outside of the wing. And I'm going to keep going. Well, that one only did 5. That's pretty good. Down, curl around, touch the first row. So it's just like doing a bunch of capital J's. You can be very good at making capital letter J's when you're done with this project. You can do like at least 100 of them. Don't make them too skinny. Don't make them too short. We don't want to give ourselves 5 years worth of work. Our rows are getting shorter as we get to the middle, so that's good. I could probably do one more row. And you can see it's nice. They all kind of come together right in the middle. Ta-da! There's only one problem. Our bird is sitting all by himself, and if we don't camouflage him, someone's going to come over and eat him, and it's going to be all our fault. So we have to hide him. So let's start by having him sitting on a nice log at the bottom of the forest floor. So what I'm going to do is just do a line over there. That's the edge of the log. You can make your log. I like to make like kind of like, remember, it's a dead branch. It's sitting on the forest floor, so it's probably going to have something broken off. Maybe it has a little stump or something, and you could do whatever you want. It's just a dead branch laying on the forest floor. If you want to make a hole in that, right, sometimes there's like a rotted hole that will be colored in later. You could even do some texture of the branch. Right, there's always going to be some texture on the tree. Normally we would make the texture up and down, but because this branch is laying on the ground, we would do our texture horizontal. Okay? So he's sitting on a branch, hanging out. He's still not hidden, though. He's still going to get eaten. And he's such a nice little bird. We have to protect him. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some leaves. Now, kind of like the feathers. I know the first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to go, oh, I'm going to make all these beautiful tiny little leaves. They're going to be so pretty. Well, I hope you like those leaves because you're going to have to make about 64,219 of them. So you'll be like maybe 37 years old when you're done. So I hope you have nothing else planned. Okay? So we want to make our leaves big. And we're going to try to overlap, right? Overlapping is the key. So you want to make your leaves nice and big. Right? We'll put some veins in there, a line down the middle. And then we'll do just a couple curling off. You don't need to make a million veins on there. But here's the trick, overlapping. I can do all the leaves I want next to each other, but that is not going to fill up my paper because they don't fit together like a puzzle. So we need to overlap. Now, I don't want to draw something over top of this because I have to do a lot of erasing. That sounds like a lot of work. I'm going to draw leaves behind that. So I can draw another leaf behind it, peeking out. Right, we'll do some veins. You can also make some leaves that are kind of like heart shape. We can also do kind of like a maple leaf, right? They kind of go out. Right? You can make, some people like to make the stems on them. And then a few veins. We don't need a million of them. Maybe 2 or 3 on each side. You can even put leaves, right? You could erase part of your branch. The leaf is going to be... So, now, another thing we don't want to do, we don't want to line them up like nice little soldiers, because when leaves fall onto the ground, they don't fall in nice little rows. They don't do that. They just fall wherever. The red one falls on the orange one. The orange one falls on the brown one. It's like they're all over the place. But the trick is making them big. That's the trick. Because if you make the leaves big, whatever kind of leaf you're making, you'll fill up your paper in no time. You can also have some peeking off the paper. Nobody says they all have to be right on the paper. They can be just peeking out. And we can make more of these little heart-shaped leaves. Almost look like kind of like a lily pad. We can also put some leaves around him, because right now there would just be green grass around him, and he doesn't have green leaves. I mean, he doesn't have green feathers. That's what I meant to say. So what we can do is we can put leaves that go right around him. Because if our leaves are brown and orange and yellow and red, and his feathers are those colors, it'd be very hard to see him, and that's a good thing. So we want to put a bunch of leaves just kind of peeking out around him. But the trick is to make them nice and big. I really haven't made that many leaves, and my paper is like more than halfway covered. There's so many different kinds of leaves. You can make other kinds of leaves that I'm not making. Think of a big, big, big. Big J's when you make your feathers. Big leaves. My marker's running out. So many leaves. Couple veins on each side, so it looks like a leaf. Look at that, I'm almost filled up. Could put another one over here. Overlapping, that's what we're doing. We're putting leaves over, actually we're putting leaves under other leaves. I could put one right there, going right off the page. And fill up our paper. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to finish this. Normally, right, we draw it the first week for my remoters, and then the second week you color it in. This might take you a little longer, but that's okay. You can work on this one. You can save. The videos are always there. The links are always going to be there in Seesaw for the next video. So you can finish this one. You can put this one aside and work on the next one and go back and work on this. That's perfectly fine. If you get it drawn, I don't think you'll have a problem getting it drawn the first week in 36 minutes. But the next week, to color all of this in, I don't know, a lot of work. We shall see. So when we color it in, what we'll do, these are watercolored. If you want to watercolor this, you can. It's nice and bright, as you can see. But the colors we're going to be using, right, the log will be brown. The woodcock's head can either be yellow or orange. The beak can be orange or brown. You probably want to use a different color. If you make the head orange, you don't want to make their beak orange. Maybe make a different color. And then the little stripes in the back of the head, I think they're supposed to be brown. Those look like they're orange, but they're supposed to be brown. And then, of course, the feathers, you want to kind of color each one separately. So whether you're using watercolor, colored pencil, or crayon, you can use any of them. You don't want to do like a bunch of red ones, a bunch of yellow ones, a bunch of orange ones. You want to kind of do like a red one there. Spread them out. It makes it look more camouflaged when you spread them out. Same thing with the leaves. Don't do all the orange leaves here, all the red leaves there. Spread them out. So you're going to be using reds, yellows, oranges, and browns for leaves and feathers. And then whatever space you have left when all of your leaves are colored in, if you have any space left, I'm sure you'll have a little bit of empty space, then you will color that green like the grass. That way we can see the leaves better. They didn't make any yellow leaves. I don't know why. Did a nice job, but they probably could have used a couple yellow leaves in there so that it helps camouflage him a little better. So all your fall colors you'll be using on the woodcock drawing. They did a really nice job. I love their leaves. So many different kinds of leaves. Overlapping, that's the trick with the leaves. Make a bunch of leaves that are close by, and then make a bunch of leaves that are underneath. You can see this orange one is under the other two brown ones that are next to it. And you'll be able to fill up your paper in no time. So this can be at least a 2-class project, maybe more. And of course, I say this at the end of every video, and I'm going to say it again. If you need paper, okay, you don't have to keep doing your drawings on a little tiny copy paper. I've got plenty of paper here. I'd be happy to roll up some paper, put your name on it, put it down by the front entrance for you to pick up. Or if there's someone in school that lives close by and you want them to drop it off to you, maybe your neighbor's coming to school, you let me know who they are and I will give the paper to them and they can deliver it to you. I want to make sure you have all the paper you need for all of your remote drawings, okay? So it's all here, we just got to get it to you, okay? So have fun with your woodcock drawing, save the bird, camouflage him, put lots of leaves around him. We need to make sure he's safe. He likes to hang out on the forest floor. Seems dangerous to me, but he likes it, so. He can fly, but he likes to hang out on the ground like us. So we have to protect them, okay? Have fun. Make sure you send me your drawings back in Seesaw. I definitely want to check these out. And I promise I'll message you back. Okay, guys? See you later. Miss you. Bye.